Rovers score 3 goals to the all 3 points down in Swansea to go top of the league. That's right, of course. Dingles, mind the bloody gap. Mind the bloody gap. That's right, folks. Babs game with another match review. Looking back at Blackburn Rovers' latest match. That's right, up against Swansea down at the Liberty, and we'll get to that in just a second. If you know where you've been, stop what you're doing, swallow what you're doing, smash your subscribe button, bang into all things Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We're all here, boys, under one roof, of course. Yes, Rovers back, top of the pops, top of the bloody table. Played 2, 1-2, yet to concede a goal. Goodness gracious me. Can, of course, we extend that run into next weekend? Of course, we'll have to wait and see about that. But right here, right now, we're talking about the game down in Wales, and we'll get to it in a second. Of course, people shout about VIPs there. Of course, the our patrons, of course. Much love on the channel there, and of course to you guys as well. But anyway, let's get into it and have a little look at how it all panned out down in Wales. That's right. So here we go. 3-0 it was. Bloody hell, nobody had imagined this. So yeah, big result. Goals coming from Sammie Szmodics, of course, debut goal for him on the 39th minute. Of course, this is how it happened right here, right now. As you can see, coming at you, great strike for him. Of course, a lovely layoff by Hedges, who made, we'll get to him in a minute, but a man of the match performance, I think, for Hedges. Of course, have been assist maker last week for Travis. He had his assist hat on, just like I do, of course. Once again, as Rovers took a lead here, Sammie Szmodics, of course, a debut goal for him. A lot of question marks about should he start, should he be on the bench, what about Bradley Dack, all that kind of stuff. All those little question marks, of course, not have been answered, but of course we'll look a little bit more sharper now, of course. Competition of places, that's all we need. And, of course, Sammie Szmodics get himself with a fantastic way to welcome to himself to the club, welcome himself to the fans as well. So, opening goal there, Hedges with the assist. As you can see, 0.26 XG on that Badger, 39th minute of the clock. Right foot shot, regular play, back of the net indeed. That was goal number 1. Goal number 2, second half, it was 57th minute. He's back. He is back. Legend supreme. Big bad Brereton Diaz, of course, who is Chilean sensation, got his first of the season, and again maybe of course caught the attention of the West Hams, the Leeds, the Brightons of this world, of course, and he scores on the 57th minute with a ripper. Actually a Dinklage, a bit of a Dinklage action. Great assist again from the man. Edges, of course, 2 for him today, 2 assists to make it 3 for the season, and of course Diaz up and running. So are Rovers. Rovers were up and running at that point, safe as houses. I thought Rovers were on their way for 3 points, and of course we sealed the deal, of course, with the third, and that of course was Captain Fantastic again. 2 goals for 2 for him, Captain Travis. Where's this come from? The 84th minute, Dolan with the assist, 0.12 XG, fast break, of course, and a rifle of a shot. Where has this been from Lewis Travis, living in Darragh Lenihan's shadow? And of course, speaking of Darragh Lenihan, only gone and got himself sent off, didn't he, against for Middlesbrough against QPR, as they suffered a defeat as well. Those were the goals. Of course, 3-0 indeed. These are the starting 11s. Let's start with, of course, Swansea with agent Andrew Fisher, ex-Rovers Supremo. The check is in the mail. He was in between the sticks. Harry Darling, he wasn't a darling today, was it? Carl Norton and Nathan Wood. I'll tell you who got Wood. We've got bloody Wood. Wood of excitement. That's right, after a 3-0 demolition. Ryan Manning on the left-hand side, Joe Letabadu on the right-hand side. I thought he was a really good player today. Had 2 or 3 good chances. And from a right back, a right wing back, whatever you want to call him, he had 2 or 3 really good chances. And maybe we'll see that in a minute with another graphic. Grimes and Fulton in midfield. Manning on the left. Nitcham on the left-hand side of the attacking trio. Perot and Obafemi were up top, but they looked a little bit toothless, a little bit blunt. And don't get me wrong, I know there's goals in them, and they will click into gear at some stage. Probably one of the deadliest front duos anyway, Perot and Obafemi, when they're on form and when they get going. So fortunately for us, they didn't get going today. But a man that did get going was Diaz, getting his first goal. But anyway, Rovers with Kaminsky between 6, Pickering at left-hand side. Callum Britton, of course, represented here with a 6.5, probably one of the worst players for Rovers today. He had a couple of moments to shine, not really stood out. I think a lot of the action was down Rovers' left-hand side. We'll see that in the graphic in a minute as well with the heat maps. Scotty Warner and Ayala slowly but surely making a nice little partnership going there, and we do need a competition for places. Ayala is notorious for picking up an injury, and of course we're likely to get some bookings in amongst those two as the season progresses. So we do need some guys to fill in the gaps. Buckley, Travis as well in the midfield. Buckley was cool, calm, and composed. Hedges with a 7.9 man of the match performance for him. Szmodics with a 7. Again, it was a bit of a mystery, to be honest with you, but he was there on point with the goal and a lovely cool finish from himself. When Hedges had done all the work, he could have had a shot himself, Hedges, and maybe got himself on the score sheet. But no, you know what? He's doing absolute bits so far this season. 3 assists, looking all the business. What we need. Diaz as well getting his first goal. Gallagher with a cheeky yellow. Down here you'll see the man of the match performances from another point of view. They're giving it to Grimes from a Swansea point of view, Nitcham and Manning. As for Rovers, 8.7 for Hedges, 8.1 for Travis, and 7.7 is Diaz as well. So take a look at the shot graph there. I'm sure Latiburdu got himself a couple of shots. I'm quite surprised that he didn't. Darling with a couple of shots there. Norton, Wood as well. Perot with 3 efforts. On Rovers, just a shot apiece for Wharton, Travis, Szmodics, of course, Diaz and Gallagher. Of course, as you can see from passes, 703 passes for Swansea compared to 292 for Rovers. They had 851 touches compared to 427. That's over double touches pretty much than we did. Tackles attempted, 17 by us, 15 by them. But all the numbers that really matter is the score sheet. 3-0 in the end, and Rovers will be happy with the 3 points. This is the heat maps, of course, coming at you. And as you can see, Swansea, all the gear, just no idea, of course. It is seems to be fairly spread out around the place. Rovers opting down the left-hand side. Like I said, it is the Pickering day today. Callum Britton was nullified, of course, and couldn't really get into the game as much as he'd hoped for. Of course, last weekend against QPR was his time to shine, but today Pickering looked the main man for us on the left-hand side. So far, so good for Rovers, though, from that point of view, and yet to concede a goal. But what about Jon Dahl Tomasson himself? What did he think about the result? And, of course, moving forward into a busy week up at Ewa Park.
Performance tactically on a very high class. We worked on this game the whole week. The way the players did it. We controlled the game out of possession against a very good team with the ball. I think we look dangerous and threatened with those transition moments the whole game. When Swansea had an attack, I think we looked solid in defending our box as well. So I'm very pleased. I think the boys worked extremely hard and followed that plan like they should do. So maybe they're more tired in the head than in the legs today. And of course, 3 beautiful goals on good transition moments. Sammie getting his first goal. That's always nice for a player who wants to get goals. Ryan, 2 assists today. And of course, Best getting his first goal with all the things around him with rumours. And a clean sheet for our defenders and Thomas. So I'm very pleased with the performance for the boys.
And the finishing was ruthless today. When the chances came, they were dispatched beautifully, as you say. How pleasing is that?
First of all, very important, of course, you're clinic with those situations. I still think there were very good chances which you should take. It was not like there was a lot of defender around the boys. They need to take those chances, but also to make the right choices. For example, the first goal, Ryan, he kept his cool, placing a ball to Sammie because he's in a better position. Excellent job. So I'm very pleased with the performance, and of course also for the fans who travel with us. I think the journey back home will be even better.
Yeah, and for any fans who didn't see the game, look at the score, they might think it was very, very comfortable. But there was a good spell in that game where the defenders had to play a really important part. Teo Eden had a terrific clearance in there, Wharton and Pickering as well. Your defenders were very determined to keep that clean sheet.
Very determined. Clean sheet is always important, but I think we controlled the game out of possession. There was the plan, there was the game plan, and the boys followed excellent. During the whole game, I think we actually look dangerous with those moments, transition moments. So we know we are playing against a good side on the ball. Football, you need to be flexible. Last game against QPR, we had another game plan. And the boys did it in a different way, and I think that was the right thing to do today. A
couple of players got their debuts today. Szmodics from the start, as you say, got his goal, and Morton with a little cameo towards the end, but you could see the quality that he's going to bring to your team.
Yeah, it's good, two good players, and we lost, of course, 8 players, so it's always nice to have gotten 3 in. I know the club is working hard to get even more players in, so Greg have done a good job so far with getting those 3 in, but we need, of course, more players. The season is long. But a good start for those two players for sure.
And you've had some defensive injuries. Hayden Carter's out for around about a month. Sam Barnes is also going to miss the majority of the season. Does that change some of the transfer targets in terms of, or priorities in terms of where you need to strengthen? Is that an area defensively you need to strengthen?
No, it doesn't change anything regarding that. Of course, I feel very sorry for Sam, first of all. He had a very good pre-season. It was close. It was on the bench against QPR. So he getting that cruciate ligament injury, I feel sorry for the boy because he's done a good job in the pre-season. He caught my eye, which you need to do. And of course, Ashley Phillips, he was on the bench today, just became 17. So for those boys, they're also a very, very good experience. For example, Adam Bolton last week was on the bench today. Ashley Phillips on the bench, and we need to develop players as well. Of course, it's about winning. It's a new project. We're ambitious, but with a lot of patience as well. We want to do the right things in a little bit different way.
And different managers have different philosophies when it comes to younger players. What's your philosophy when it comes to introducing younger players? If they're good enough, will you put them in? Is it a question of easing them in gently? Is it a mixture of the two?
No, if you're good enough, you will play. It's quite simple. Doesn't matter for age. If you're an older, experienced player, we had Ayala playing excellent today again, and if you're good enough to play. Doesn't matter with age.
Yeah, and just finally from me, 2 games this week at Leewood Park, that midweek game against Hartlepool in the League Cup. Is that an opportunity maybe to get some minutes into players that haven't had some minutes before?
For sure, we will change some players. We need also to change players because we need to keep everybody fresh. We need to keep everybody involved, and especially because our squad is not that big at the moment. So it's important for those players who will get the chance against Hartlepool that they get minutes and they perform for the club. And of course for themselves as well.
Jon, can I just go about somebody like Ryan Hedges who came in January? We didn't see that much of him. How much of your assessment of players was based on what happened before? Or be purely just based on players that what you've seen since you've come in?
No, of course I did my homework before coming to Blackburn Rovers regarding formation, the way of playing, and the players. And Ryan, he came in, I think it was in December, in the winter. So haven't had many games. He played in the end a bit. You always need to settle when you come to a new club as well. But I think he had 2 good games so far.
We've probably seen a bit different from him in the pressing, playing centrally. That's not something we've really seen. Is that a role you've identified for him that he can do in this team?
No, I think if you look at the game plan, you know they have a lot of movement, and Ryan is a clever player, so I thought there was the right solution to put him there central on defensive part because he's clever to do the right things at the right moment, which you all saw today. And of course, when we have the ball, he can move where he wants to move. And we were overloading the central path of the midfield of Swansea today as well when we had the ball.
Okay then folks, let's take a look at what's happening on social media then, shall we? Russell Prescott said, take your pick from Britton, Wharton, Ayala picking or Hedges for our man of the match. Ayala for me, if he stays fit, I don't see us ever conceding a goal. Absolute brick wall. Meanwhile, Elsko said, absolutely sensational. Jamie, as Lisa and Jamie 1 said, wow, now that is a good win. Meanwhile, Antastic says, stop the count, as of course he showcases Rovers top of the pop, 6 points from 6, and yet to concede a goal. Looking the real bloody deal. Meanwhile, Ben the Box Jackson says, top of the league, get the in, he says. Meanwhile, Jacob Boyd, our very own Jacob 1 said, may as well give it to him now. That's right, of course he's referencing the manager of the month, of course 2 for 2. Surely if he gets something from West Brom, he'll be definitely in the mix as well. Meanwhile, Billy said, Lewis Travis, kid, you should have been captain a long time ago. Meanwhile, Moon, the Gamer Moon, has just put this picture there with Hartlepool and whoever Don is, basically giving yourself an hard on. That's right. Moving on, Liam Shaw with, of course, one of the most famous clips right now, Yundar Thompson saying, brilliant indeed. Vamos, that's Blackburn Rovers Espanol indeed. Tom Asia, aka MGP Rovers. What a performance from Rovers, especially second half. Can see the tactical difference between Mowbray and Thomason. Morton had a couple of nice touches as well. Can't say a bad thing about the performance. Played perfectly against the system. Up the Rovers. Meanwhile, Gallerossi Blue said, we pummel Swansea, then it gets sent off for Borough. What a day. Huge smile on my face right now. Brilliant team performance. JDT, a top coach, as well as a very capable manager. RC 1875, surely this can't go on for long, but I'll enjoy it while it lasts. So much better than Mowbray's system. Aaron Chowdhury says, E-I-E-I-E-I-O, and there's a little pick of your main man, JDT. Lee 2 James says, Travis 2 for 2 as captain, and Lenihan getting sent off. And then, of course, it's the chasing pack as well, indeed. So those are the state of play, of course, on Twitter sphere. What about what's going on around the grounds then, shall we? Let's take a look at it. Birmingham picked 2-1 winners over Huddersfield Town. Of course, earlier today, Norwich did draw with Wigan. That's Ryan Ayambe's Wigan. Of course, he's not even getting any game time. Meanwhile, another draw, the Shithouse Merchants. That's right. Luton got themselves a monstrous point against the Freakazoids, the six-fingered banjo-playing weirdos. It is, of course, Burnley. Sheffield United with a big 2-0 win over Millwall, back to winning ways for them. Stoke also a big win over Blackpool. Preston couldn't get anything out of Hull City. Bristol City did lose at home 3-2 to Sunderland. Of course, join us in the top 2 spots. Meanwhile, Reading 2-1 winners over Cardiff, and QPR big 3-2 win over Middlesbrough. Indeed, Coventry's game against Rotherham tomorrow has been postponed, and West Brom take on Watford in the Battle of the W's, of course, on Monday. And we'll be keeping an eye on that one, of course, because we do have West Brom next weekend. I believe it's on a Sunday. Wow. Of course, Sunday night action. And there it is. Take a fucking picture. Take a selfie. I might as well do it just now myself. Yes, indeed, yo. Take a pic of that badger. It is Rovers. It is, of course, top of the table, and it is yet to concede a goal. Down the foot of the table, though, it is Huddersfield, Bristol City, and Swansea going to go down. I'll take that all day long. If we were to go up alongside Sunderland, yes, indeed, and of course, then Freakazoids would have to duke it out in the playoffs against Sheffield United and co. That's, of course, the state of play in the table, but of course, let's not get excited ourselves. It is only match number 2, but while we got these moments, we're going to fucking roll with it, aren't we? That's right. This is, of course, what's going to happen next weekend. Watford against Burnley on Friday night, of course. We'll keep an eye on that one. Hopefully, Watford can get the better of them this coming Friday. Cardiff against Birmingham in the early kickoff on Saturday, August the 13th. Meanwhile, Sunderland against QPR as well. Millwall against Coventry. Hull City against Norwich. We have Blackpool against Swansea. Luton Town against Preston. Rotherham against Reading. We have Huddersfield against Stoke. Wigan against Bristol City. Middlesbrough against Sheffield United. That's an early kickoff on Sunday. But of course, Rovers against West Brom is the game of the day. Also in action this week, Rovers will be against Hartlepool in the Cup. Not too sure what Swansea got on their hands, but I'm sure they're also in the Cup as well. Thank you so much, of course, for the points, Swansea. Did we anticipate this? Heck no. Did we deserve it? Not really. The first half we were definitely the second best side, but the casualness, the mistakes at the back by Swansea led us to get us the big fat 3 points in the end. Of course, we capitalised on those opportunities and we took them well. And of course, it is a monumental joy to see that Diaz is up and running with his first goal of the campaign, and also the big hoodoo is off the shoulders already of Sammie Szmodics as well. Travis, of course, looks absolutely fantastic wearing the captain's armband now, 2 for 2 for him, and of course making himself absolutely undroppable moving forward. But that, my friends, is it. Be sure to give us some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe, check the links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course Patreon. Until then, boys and girls, we're going to be done right now, but until then, I'll see you soon for the next.